Welcome back, everybody. We're in person today. This is Lauren.
I'm Carrie.
And I'm Emily.
And this week we are talking about manifesting. And I will say this is something I really struggle with. I do. I have people in my life who are so good at it.
I'm supposed to be good at it based on my
Same.
fucking numerology and all
Right.
the other shit.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
Yeah, it is. I have one of my friends can literally just like speak things into existence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you do?
Yeah.
How do you make this happen?
Yeah. Manifestations. I have a love-hate relationship with manifestation.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like, for me, I have tried I play like the little manifestation games. Like they always say to start small, and I'll say, okay, I'm going to manifest a hawk today, or I'm
Right.
going to manifest whatever it is, like something small, like a bird, and I can usually make that happen, like at least within 24 hours.
Mhm.
When it comes to manifesting money,
Yeah.
but I think I don't know, I feel like with manifesting, it's all a mindset.
Yes.
I mean, that's really what it is.
Absolutely.
And it's the law of attraction, right? So, but it's so hard because we're human, and just going off of our last episode, we have the ego, and
Yep.
the ego wants to protect us. And so we kind of tend, if we're struggling in an area of life and we're trying to bring that abundance in, well, if we are constantly stressed out, worried, unsure, because your situation feels that way, and that's very real, and that feeling is very tangible, it makes it that much harder. And it's hard because if I'm being completely honest, I'm not about like the toxic positivity. And when my life feels like it's out of control, it's very hard for me to pretend everything's fine, because I also feel like you need to be grounded too. So I don't know. I have a very complicated relationship with manifestation.
I think one of the main key components of manifestation is practicing gratitude.
Yes.
So being grateful for what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And also what goes into that is everybody wants to manifest money, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't have like specific intentions, you're likely going to manifest it, but through different ways. So like if I want cold hard cash, I need to tell spirit I want cold hard cash. Otherwise, they may bless me with something that helps my financial situation, but it's not necessarily cash sitting in the bank. It could be
Or a different type of wealth.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It could be like I'm poor as dirt and I need money, but someone offers to buy me lunch, or something, like somebody gifts me something. That's still, you're manifesting wealth. It's just not the cash that I necessarily wanted. So I think gratitude and also intention.
Yes.
Because you can also, I have a story. So I've had weight loss surgery. I had it back in 2020. And before that, I was pretty heavy. And you could say that I manifested losing weight, but my intention, I didn't say I want to lose weight in the healthiest, easiest way possible. So my journey after that surgery was a rough one.
Yeah.
But I lost the weight. So I was able to manifest the weight loss, but I wasn't intentional with it. So I kind of went through a little bit of hell, came out on the other side, and I have the story to tell. But that is an example of you want to have intention.
Yeah.
And be as clear as you can.
Yes.
I think
to the very detail.
Yes. The detail, the mindset, and the actual practice, I think are so important in all of it. And everything you see, there's no quick fix to things. And there shouldn't be, because then you're not doing the work, and you're probably not as grateful for the things you have, the things you got, and the things you want. But when you have the mindset and you're actually putting a practice to it, it helps you be more grateful for the things you have and the things you want.
Right.
And I think the practice is where people get tripped up, because you want this and you want it now. We're totally that type of society now, because we get Amazon in 2 days time.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're like, why can't I have everything 2 days time? And
Right.
it's not how it works.
No, it's not.
Well, you don't want to put desperation out into the universe.
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
If you
Then you're
put-
gonna get shit you did ask
Exactly.
for.
If you put lack into into the universe, you're going to get the lack back.
Right.
1000%.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good conversations, a lot of good content about how to manifest. And one of the ways I do it, I like to like collage or vision board.
Yeah, I
thing.
really want to do that.
It's very helpful. And then I like to put it in front of my face.
Yeah.
I didn't do it this year yet, but like last year, I made like a vision board on my computer. I just kind of took a bunch of pictures and made a collage, and then I made it my computer background.
Love that.
Oh, I love that.
But then I don't know, I just kind of left it there.
Yeah.
So did half the shit that I put in there in front of me, did it come to fruition? No. Because I like this, it's pretty, and then I left it and I wasn't actually taking my time with it.
Right.
So I don't know. When I do it this year, I'm gonna be a little more thoughtful in it. I also, there's a candle I have at home that I just like cut out newspaper things,
Yeah.
and I put it on my candle, and so every time I light it, I'm focusing. I pick it up and I just look at the things, and then
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I find that the physical part of intentions work for me.
Same.
And I know some people, they can just speak it, write it, journal it, and they're like,
there you go.
God, how nice.
I know.
Bitches, God. I don't know. I think who knows what they have gone through that this life,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you can just pull this off.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Blessed.
That's very
Maybe
true.
next time. What are the games you mentioned? Like the small steps when you said you do the manifesting. Did you say games?
Yeah, it's kind of like the test your intuition, but it's with manifesting. So like there's a girl actually on TikTok, I forget her tag, otherwise I would totally tag her, but her whole content is on manifestation.
We'll look it up and then
And
we'll tag
she
it in the
always has
show.
like, she did a series where I think she posted once a week, and she would have a word, and then you would have to manifest that word. And she's like, this is the word, but you can't be thinking about it all the time.
Right.
That's the trick. 'Cause
Right.
if you're looking for it, it's never gonna come.
Kind of like signs.
It's like
Yes.
signs. You kind of have to set that intention and then forget about it. And so this was like a manifestation test that I did, and it was pigs fly. That was like the saying.
Mhm.
So she's like, you're either going to see like a pig with wings, or you can either see it, hear it, whatever. So like, I'm like, okay. So I kind of sat there for a moment, focused on the visualization. What does a pig with wings look like? What does somebody saying that sound like? And I kind of just pulled that into my energy, and I just sat with that for a minute, and then I let it go. And it was actually Emily the next day. We were texting back and forth, and she was being sarcastic, and she's like, what are pigs flying? And I'm like, dude, you never say that. Like, you never say that. And it came to light.
Yeah.
So like testing we can all manifest. We are all master manifestors if we really want to be. But starting small, I think, is the way to go. I love what you said about intention. That's so important. And for me, the one thing that I did just very proudly manifest was filling my Reiki class. But I think it all had to do with the very specific intention, because I told the universe exactly how many people I wanted to have in the course, exactly when I wanted to have the course filled by. I wanted to have it literally, like, I think I said 2 weeks out, because I didn't want to be stressed and have everybody rush to sign up and like not really know. All check. Like, that's all of those things happen. But sometimes I lack confidence, and depending on what I'm manifesting. And I feel like because we all have so many money blocks, money is the hardest thing. Like, actual cold hard cash is the hardest thing to manifest, because it's hard to put intention around cash, because cash can be used for so many different things. So it's like, if you are trying to manifest money, then you need to be very intentional about why you want this money, and what it is for, and what you're going to use it for, and how it can help you, while also being grateful for what you do have. And so I think it's easier to manifest things like filling a Reiki class, or I don't know, whatever, but money's hard.
Did you just speak it into existence, or did you write it down? Or like, how did you?
I did a little ritual for it. I also worked with the Shems on that, the Shem angels. I did a ritual with the Shems for that too. And I just really, I'm very clairvoyant. That's my biggest clair. So visualization is really big for me. So my class is through Snit Feed. So I just literally like imagine imagined in my head those emails coming in. So and so just signed up for your class. Hearing like the actual ding, like when the snip feed comes through, that kind of stuff, like visualizing calls, visualizing texts, visualizing emails, visualizing people in my live asking or inquiring about it. I was on it. Like I was doing it constantly every time I went in my live talking about it. I didn't market much at all for this class. I posted one video on TikTok. I just spoke about it.
Yeah.
And it worked. So.
And I think an important part is also like the realistic things that we're asking for.
Yeah.
And what you were asking for was a realistic timeline,
Yeah.
number, those
Yeah.
sorts of things. And when we're asking for things that are for probably what we don't need is when we're not going to get those things. And when we're not specific enough, we're going to get them in ways we didn't ask for. And then we're like, well, this isn't what I asked for.
Right.
Kind of like one of the early episodes you talked about, you asked for an eagle feather and you got a different feather. And
no, I asked for like a hawk or a crow and I got an eagle.
Right.
That's
It's
crazy.
Like, that'd be crazy if you were like, well, this isn't what I asked for.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like,
and sometimes it's better than
It's
what
better.
you asked
Right.
for.
Right.
Or
Later found out it's illegal to take eagle feathers, but you know.
it was gifted to
It was
you.
gifted to me.
It's not like you plucked it from the bird saying, hey, give me that.
Exactly.
I asked for your feather.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, you were gifted it.
I know.
Calm down.
I have another thing like the flying pigs thing. So I'm currently trying to manifest something, which I will talk about once I manifest it. And this is something that I ask the universe for signs and sign your signs all the time on.
Sign your sign.
So it was like, okay, I need a sign. And I thought of something random as fuck. So I'm like, okay, a hippo. Show me a hippo. Show me the word, the animal. I don't care. And also I want to forget about it.
Yeah.
So I made the intention. I didn't even really visualize. It was a hippo. However it comes up. Forgot about it. I'm flipping through Facebook. There's this meme and it said something. It was like about a nurse or something. And it said like, that violates hippo. The person misspelled HIPAA as hippo. I'm like,
yeah, just a little error.
all right, loud and clear.
Sign your sign.
Yeah, I am one of those people.
Well, yeah, because you always want like, okay, well, I saw that, but can you send me another just so I know that what I saw was
right.
And then you see a second, okay, but maybe that was coincidence. Send me one more.
Yeah.
One
One
more.
more.
Just one.
Maybe that wasn't it.
Yeah, just one, please. Oh yeah, I can't tell you. When we were driving home on Saturday, I was asking for multiple because I was like, I think I made that up. Let me try that again. And I kept getting them, and I was like, I need to stop, or I'm gonna stop getting them altogether.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like,
they're gonna be fed up.
Oh yeah. I mean, even just yesterday, I was sitting here before the appointment, and I'm like, Spirit, I need a sign I'm doing the right thing. And then that song came on the radio.
Yeah.
So you know,
ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
But you need to be specific, or you're gonna receive things you didn't really ask for, but you probably needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard putting the trust out there in the universe and then getting something in return that maybe wasn't you asked for, and then having to trust in that.
Yeah.
Like that different lesson to get to whatever.
You know what else is wild is that I don't know if it's like this for you, but manifesting a sign is just as big of a deal to me as manifesting money or material things.
100%.
Oh, I get so excited.
Me too.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it may as well be Christmas Day with all the signs.
It's a little relief to be like, okay, like I can do this and I'm on the right path. And it's that little reassurance from the universe, from spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's just this little hope. And we all need hope.
Yeah, we do. I had a really cool thing. Emily was witness to it, but a couple weeks ago, we were talking about spirit guide animals, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to tune in and like see what's around me. And the first thing I saw was a peacock, and I was like, wow, I think I have a peacock around me. So I said it in the group chat, and then so weird, maybe within 15 minutes my son was looking at an animal book, and it had hundreds of animals. Like you could just flip through, there's a bear, there's a panda, whatever, and he wasn't speaking out loud like, Mom, look at this animal, he just randomly goes, a peacock.
My ear just started ringing,
and I'm like, okay. And then we're in class with Carrie, and we start talking about the infernals, and I was telling her this story about about this spirit guide that's a peacock. And she's like, I feel like it's an infernal because there's an infernal that's associated with peacocks. And I'm like, well, I didn't even think of that. That's interesting. So I go and grab my occult tarot that has all of them in there. They each have their own card associated with whatever tarot card it is. And I'm just flipping through, like, cause she's like, I think it starts with an A. So I'm just looking through for an A. As soon as she said, oh, I found it, she said the name, I was on that card, and there it was. And another sign was that card was the Queen of Swords, and that is very much my energy right now.
That's crazy.
And the energy that I'm moving into, which is like very like, we stand on business, we're done with the people pleasing.
Right.
And I was just like, dude, it's just, I love those concrete, like, you can't deny, you cannot make it up.
Right.
You cannot.
It's funny to say about the peacock because there's been so much, I've seen a lot of peacock content very randomly for this one, specifically this one person I follow on Instagram, and this peacock showed up out of nowhere to her house.
What?
And it's like none of the neighbors know this bird, and it's just out of nowhere. And I found the comments very funny because I grew up, my babysitter, there was a farm that had peacocks, and the first time I heard those things scream,
that's wild.
it's scary.
It is.
But I think it's really funny, like it just randomly showed up, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And she said the same thing. She was like, I kind of thought about a peacock the other day, and then it just like wandered in my
That
yard.
is crazy.
And then you're in Newton, I'm like, oh yeah, I just saw these peacocks. It's very,
that is awesome.
Those little things, I like to call them the invisible strings.
Yeah,
I would like to really do an episode on invisible strings. Like,
I've
been
seeing a lot about the invisible string theory lately.
Yeah.
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet, but I've been seeing a lot of it.
I've been seeing a little bit of like, it's a trending conversation. And that is one that I do actually believe fully in. One thing, and I guess speaking of like social media, one of the things that I really hate seeing with manifesting is the people who, like, someone goes through something traumatic or really bad, and they're just like, you must have manifested.
Oh,
you must have thought something did
Oh my
something that
God.
caused this. And I am like, that shit has gotta stop.
Yeah.
That's just not.
no.
It's so nasty. It's mean.
Yeah.
And I just don't think there's any truth to it.
No.
Me
I
either.
just do not think that is how things work.
No.
And you see it so much.
Now, stumping your toe, you did something. Karma was involved.
Right.
Oh my God. When
Right.
my friend hears this, he's going to poop himself when you just said that. Wait, only because talking about manifesting was one of the things. He was like, I said I need to trust in the universe. And he fucking stubs his goddamn toe.
I mean, like,
and he was like, I said I had to trust the universe, so whatever this is about.
it happens.
So
to the
you know
best
who
of
you
us.
are out there listening. Hope you checked your pants.
No, but the big stuff is like, no, this is also life, and
Right.
terrible things happen in
Right.
life, because if it didn't, we would never grow or evolve or find our own strength, or
The things that come
We
from
don't-
those lessons are
Yeah.
really hard to understand at
They
the
are.
time, or the people who come from those.
Yes.
sorts of
we never
things.
understand it, and that's
Right.
perfectly okay.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have to understand everything.
No, we don't.
And that's.
I think the difference is that bad things are going to happen, right, to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's the way that you, like, your perception of it and how you deal with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just going to use like a death, for instance. And when I say this, it doesn't make anyone better or worse. It's just the way
No.
that it is. But for someone that's vibing at a higher vibrational frequency, they're going to be able to handle it not a lot better because there's still grief. But I feel like their awareness of it is a lot more open than someone who is at a lower vibe. So I feel like they're kind of more stuck in the negative than that person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because of your perception.
Of
If
the
someone,
universe,
it's
really.
just like if someone has a really negative attitude, they're gonna have like a really negative perception.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone that's positive, their experience is gonna be different. That was probably a bad comparison, but
Well, no, because I think it's when you're closed-minded, it's the end.
yes.
That's the end all be all. That's it. And that puts people in a really dark place
Yes.
because nobody likes endings. But especially when it's a loss of some sort,
Yeah.
it feels like the absolute
Yeah.
End
end.
of the world.
Yes.
But if you are open-minded to how the universe works and to it not having to be the end,
Yes.
that connection is still
Yes.
open,
Yeah.
leaves a whole different space for grief.
Yes.
where it has space here, but also we
have space
hope.
here.
Yeah, like it's the balancing act.
Yes.
But if you're not open to it and it's just the end, the only space to take up for grief is all of it.
Right.
Like, and
right.
and then you
And it'll embody you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will
Yeah.
overcome you.
Absolutely.
And it's grief is, I think that's also an episode we should do on. I think I'm personally not ready to talk about it, but like one day I think it will be, especially because when we started this, we talked about we wanted to normalize death.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because it's all around us. And I think if we can even just open one person's mind to it not having to be the end, then we did exactly what we came here for.
Yeah. But no, you don't manifest somebody dying.
No.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation where somebody in your family or somebody that you love very much is going through a health struggle and you are finding that you are in a more negative place, first of all, that's fucking normal and perfectly okay. And it's called anxiety and it's a part of our reality. Unfortunately, it is. So give yourself a little bit of grace.
Right.
But you worrying about that person, the worst case scenario, isn't going to make the worst case scenario happen. The only thing that's being tortured through that experience is you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's doesn't have an effect on that person and their situation.
Right.
It is to have a clear mindset and to ground yourself and to be easy on yourself and to do these things for yourself because you're struggling is what's going to help you get through the difficulty.
It's going to help you
easier, but it's not going to make it one way or another.
No.
We hold a lot of power, but we don't hold that much power. I mean, somebody's journey is somebody's journey and the obstacles that they came here to face are for them. So it's just like, I hate that too, Lauren. And I came across a TikTok yesterday of like this woman who my heart goes out to her. She lost her husband in 2010, her first husband, to, I think he had a heart attack. And it was like they were sitting on the couch watching a show.
God.
He dozed off during a commercial. She couldn't wake him up. He was dead. And then she had a friend she had a 10-year-old daughter at the time. And this friend, and I wish I knew this woman's name because I would shout out, but I don't. I just saw it yesterday. The friend was very helpful, helping the daughter with schoolwork. He'd come over and plow. He'd come over and mow. He would drop food off. Like they were friends and he really helped her and her daughter through this really difficult time. So 2 years later, her daughter said to her, at this point, she was maybe 12 or 13. She's like, Mommy, I think so-and-so likes you. And she's like, I don't think so. And then they were having a glass of wine a couple days later. And she told this man what her daughter had said. And he was like, well, I kind of do. And then they started dating and then they got married and they were married for 10 years. And then he got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And he died within 9 months of that diagnosis. And she's like, I'm widowed twice before I'm 50. And she's like, for my second husband, he was if there was anybody that was 100% convinced that they were going to live through this and had a positive mindset and did everything right. And you read and I love those books. Mind Over Medicine, a great book. And I do believe that the mind has a lot of power. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but sometimes your fate is your fate.
Right.
Of course.
And she's like, and I just cannot stand that. Like, well, if he would have been, no, like he was all of those things.
Right.
Yeah. We could call it the what ifs.
Yeah. And that's where this
ifs.
shit can get very toxic. Like this work, and I love it so much and it's so dear to me, but manifestation, all of it, it can be very toxic.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems to be the places it comes up a lot where it's toxic is with sickness like cancers and pregnancy. I can these poor women who are trying everything they can and it's just not working. And people are like, well, maybe you don't know what you've done to like make it so you can. And it's shut the fuck up. Like you need to shut up. Oh God, those people.
It's horrific.
Right.
I mean, I look at my cousin. I look at Amber all the time and just
she's just
because I mean, now I'm not going to say that she doesn't struggle, and she lost her husband December of 2022, and they have a son, one child, a toddler, and she was very awake individual before this happened. And it's like there are days where the grief consumes her,
for sure.
and then there's days where she's reading 5,000 books and educating herself and going through like mind training in a way, and like there's days where she has unbelievable strength, and there's days where she doesn't, and like that's okay, and it's a part of it.
It's natural.
It's natural, and it wouldn't be natural if she was just like, all right, well, I guess this needed to happen. Everybody would look at her like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's toxic.
Well, that's
positivity.
the thing. Like, it's like you can't win.
Right.
It's like you're either too strong or you're too weak. And it's like that is what drives me up. No, every single day is going to look different when you're dealing with something
It's not
horrific.
linear.
It's not
linear.
And
it's not.
And even with your own person, it's not linear. Like, it's not even a difference of you will handle it different than Carrie and me. It is, I will handle it different every day, every minute,
Right,
every hour.
exactly.
Like, it's not just how I handle it right now. And I think that's also where when we love and care for people, have to understand that people don't go through things the same way that we do.
Right.
Exactly.
And to not take it personally, because I think that's one thing, everybody takes things so personal. Well, I did this for you and you didn't acknowledge it the way I wanted you to. That's a selfish thing to do things.
And that's a you problem.
Yes. Yeah. I don't care that you didn't get the gratification from the thing that you did to make yourself feel better about what I'm going through.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
not sorry.
No.
That's on you, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk to someone about it, but not me.
Right, exactly. Well, this episode can be called Manifestation and Everything Else.
Right.
Fun.
Good God. Yeah.
Manifestation and signs.
Yeah, and grief and toxic positivity.
Right.
Shoot, and etc. I think because it's just.
I have a question for you guys. What do you think about the delusional manifestation when you start acting like Delulu, like you're already rich,
I don't think that's healthy.
or you're already I don't
think that's healthy.
Oh, like you mean where people like just are pretending? Like,
Yes.
if I pretend I live this life and I spend
they're saying
money
you're
because
putting
I
yourself-
have it.
That's
that-
where it gets to be way.
yeah.
That's
You're
where
in
you're going to
trouble.
get yourself
what
in
I
big
think,
trouble.
too.
Yep.
Can you embody that persona?
Yeah.
And that confidence?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, can you, in your mind, like, okay, no, we're not actually rich, so we need a budget and we need to be responsible. But I am going to embody the
Yes.
confidence of somebody that is very wealthy in how I am energetically.
Yes.
It's not about like, okay, I'm going to go blow all my money because I'm rich. Please, people who are
Right.
watching, don't do that.
Right.
I think it's the confidence. Start small.
It's your energy. It's
confidence.
not, the universe doesn't say, oh, she's got $5 to her name and she just went and took out a second home equity line of credit on her house and just bought a $10,000 ring. Let's give her money. No, they're going to be like, you're not ready for more money.
You know what lesson
Right.
you're about to learn? A real hard one. Yeah, you are not going to be very happy with what you just did.
But the person that has $5 and is like, okay, I understand I am so grateful for this $5 because it's going to be able to put a gallon of gas in my car and I can get to my job where I'm going to make more money. And when I go to work, I'm going to do my work with confidence as in a way that a successful lawyer would, or a doctor or whatever. And you project that out.
Yes.
It's all about energy.
Yes.
Everything is energy. Yep. That is when the money will come in, or whatever it is that you're manifesting. Right. Please, God, do not, because there are people on TikTok like, and maybe it worked out for them.
Right.
You know, there was a girl that quit her, one of the most like successful models on Sports Illustrated, left her played Delulu. And you know what? That worked out for her.
Yes.
But you know what? It doesn't work out for everyone. No. So.
And we also don't know the other side of things.
Exactly. And the support that she had.
We have no idea.
Or the hell she may have gone through.
Yep. We see one part and
of a whole story.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that is incredibly important to remember. Not everything we see is what
it goes back to my weight loss journey. People see the thin Emily, but it's like, you have no idea what I went through to get here, and it really wasn't even worth it. So it's
be grounded when it comes to spirituality. Be grounded in everything you fucking do, because it is dangerous territory out there. And I love TikTok, I do, but you gotta like use your own intuition and discernment and be like, okay, that worked for that person and that's fantastic, but how would that really work for me in my circumstance or my situation? Because they're not all the same. I
also think it can be really toxic when you're playing Delulu on someone you want to be in a relationship with.
Oh,
that is toxic.
Oh.
Pretending that you're already together, telling people, oh yeah, she's already my girlfriend. Like, no.
Even
No,
also,
that's psychotic.
Even putting that on other people,
Right?
Being like, oh well, they're in a relationship because they just believe so hard that they just made it happen. It's like that. No. Like, don't take credit for the work that went into it.
Right.
Don't take away their credit by pretending because that's how you want it to work.
Right.
That
Exactly.
there's not other things that went into this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that is a dangerous journey to take. Is if I believe it wholeheartedly and it is now my life and that's how I'm going to act right here and now, you're in danger.
You still need to live your life.
Yeah, I'm blinking
Yeah.
those sirens. We're waving that.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
it. Stop. Dear God,
No.
please stop.
And I think for me, when I manifest too, it's kind of like imagining like, what would life be like if I had that in my life? Or like if that person was in my life, what would we be doing? What would we be saying? But it's not like right now I'm tied to that person, even though I'm not. Or right now I can spend this money, even though I don't have it. It's more like kind of like using your imagination.
Yeah. Well, and also I think when you do it that way, you might come to find that maybe that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, if you imagine it and you kind of think about how your life will change with whatever you're asking for, you might be like, maybe this isn't what I want.
Right.
And then you kind of make those shifts. I think that is not delusional. That is practical.
Yeah.
That is the type of reality we were talking about of being realistic with the things you're asking for.
Yeah.
Because everything comes with a price. Everything.
Yeah.
Good, bad, it all comes with some sort of price tag.
Yeah. And it's important to, I mean, I know that this has been a really big realization for me. And I know it has for you too, Emily, of like, when we were at our corporate job and even probably you too, Lauren, and we felt like it was horrible for our mental health. And I'm not saying that it was, but this is going to make everything so much better. If we just leave and we go and we follow our dreams and our passion, it's going to be amazing. And it's like, your mind really wants to, we're paying attention to like all the amazing things that are going to happen, but it's like anything. And then once you get there and it's like, maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be, because it's like, you cannot look for happiness outside of yourself. No amount of money, no amazing career, no partner, whatever it is not going to make you happier. It might make you happier for a moment.
Right.
Now, it has been a very positive shift in my life in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it hasn't just filled up my cup completely and now I have no problems and I'm just like the happiest person ever. And I just like, no, that's not reality. And I'm learning that I did manifest this, but there's a lot of things that I maybe didn't necessarily consider.
Same.
And now I have to consider it. And now I have to make some adjustments. And now I have to shift in a little bit here and there. But the amount of I'm learning through that process is what is so fucking valuable, more than any amount of money could ever give to me, is I'm learning so much about myself. And it's like, sometimes we just think it's going to be a quick fix and it's not.
Also, how boring to have a quick fix.
I know.
You know?
Right.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm not gonna appreciate things the way that I should.
I'm a gal that likes the chase. I hate to admit it, but I like chase with anything.
It feels worth it.
It does.
It's nice doing
that dopamine hit you get when you get it.
Yeah, when you look back and you're like, I'm filthy, I'm rough, but I did it.
Yep.
And look at the things that will come from it.
Yeah. So many lessons I didn't think I would be learning.
Me either.
But I'm very grateful for them.
Yeah.
And the universe is like, oh, watch this.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
You thought you'd be having a good time.
Right.
There's a girl that says that she can she doesn't have a job. She just manifests like tens of
I've seen that.
dollars,
I've seen her.
and I don't believe you.
No, she's full of shit.
I don't believe you if you're watching or listening.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from loans that she takes out and she gets approved for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure the banks are laughing their way to their bank because she's just pulling loans for loans.
Right.
That's not manifesting money.
No.
That's not it.
And that's toxic to tell other people that are naive and are trying to learn about manifesting.
Right, don't lie. I mean, I think that's part of the delusion.
Yeah.
And I feel really sad for people who who that is their goal. I pity them. I really do.
Yeah.
Because that just, I don't know, it doesn't, maybe
Yeah.
they're having a good time and they're happy, but I question that reality.
Oh yeah.
And also, before we wrap it up, if you work with deities or you work with guides or angels or whatever, make sure you call them in to help you with whatever you do in manifesting, because that has been really helpful
Huge.
for me.
Yep.
Very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, you don't feel so alone.
Yeah.
I feel like
and they're
it's-
here to help you.
Mhm.
It's
They're-
like you take the load and it's on their shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you share the load. Like
Yep.
sometimes, and we do this with like our friends and family too. Like sometimes we just need someone else to carry our
Yes.
torch just for a minute.
Yes.
Like we're tired and
Yep.
you can be that for someone else. And if you feel like you don't have someone, you always have your angels, your guides, deities, like you name it, just ask for the help. And I don't know anybody who hasn't received.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that wraps it.
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is when you're going to manifest, be realistic, have intention.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Show gratitude.
Show gratitude. Did we miss anything?
And it's okay if you're not positive all the fucking
Yeah,
time.
that's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally cool. So anyway, thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Team Spirit Podcast. Carrie and Emily go live on TikTok and can also be found on Instagram. Carrie is at Clarity by Cam, CAM. Emily is at Enchanted Mystic by MK. See you next time.
Toodles.
You did it.